Welcome to Module 4, Lesson 1. You're going to turn your book to page 91. Our I can statement reads, I can group tens as hundreds and write a number as tens and hundreds. In this lesson, we're going to be working on grouping using place value. You should have completed the check understanding. Here it shows us circling groups of 10. We're going to use this knowledge to help us complete the other problems, thinking about 10 as groups. So now let's take a look at our build understanding on page 92. Our question reads, there are 10 cartons of eggs in one box. Each carton has 10 eggs. If Eric has 30 cartons of eggs, how many boxes can he fill? The first thing we need to think is, what do we need to find? So we were just given a whole bunch of information, right? 10 cartons of eggs in a box. A carton has 10 eggs. We know he has 30 cartons of eggs, and it asks how many boxes he can fill. So what do we need to find? The number of boxes Eric can fill with his 30 cartons of eggs. Okay, so we're trying to find the number of boxes. Ultimately, that's it. We know he has 30 cartons of eggs, and there are 10 cartons of eggs in one box. So we're trying to figure out how many boxes he'll need for those 30 cartons of eggs. Now over here, I want you to notice our vocabulary. These are our 10 ones that we group into one stick of 10. Okay, this is like in the Spark you're learning where they were circling a group. We can just use it as a stick of 10 here. So now let's look at letter B. We're going to circle the tens to make hundreds. First, we need to think about how many tens are in 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 groups of 10 in 100. So we can circle groups of 10. Go ahead and circle groups of 10 to show hundreds. Right, you should have circled the groups of 10 like that. Now let's look at letter C. It asks us, how can we write the number in 3 ways? First, it asks us to write how many tens were there. So remember, each one of these is 10. 10, 20, 30. So there were 30 tens. Now it asks us how many hundreds were there. We had one group of 100, 2 groups of 100, 3 groups of 100. So there were 3 hundreds. Now it doesn't give us a place value here. We can think about this as ones. If I went back and counted every single tiny cube, right? I know that there are 10 ones in each 10. How many ones are there in 300? There are 300. So now let's answer the question. Eric can fill how many boxes with 30 cartons of eggs? Remember, one box can have 10 cartons of eggs. So this is like when we circled our groups. He can fill 3 boxes. And here's our vocabulary showing the way we group our hundreds. This is just like when we circled our group of 100. It's going to be equal to 100 or hundreds flat if we're drawing a picture. Let's look at the next problem. Mr. Adar is putting books on the library shelves. 10 books fit on each shelf. He fills 10 shelves. How many books does he put on the shelves? The first thing we need to do is figure out what do we need to find to solve this problem. Well, we know there are 10 books on each shelf, and he is able to fill 10 whole shelves. The question asks us, how many books does he put on the shelves? So what do we need to find? The number of books on the shelves. Okay, so we know each shelf can hold a number of books, and he fills 10 shelves with them. So now we're going to go ahead and draw. I'm going to use a 10 stick to draw because I know he puts 10 books on each shelf. So each of my 10 stick will be the number of books he puts on each shelf. I know he fills 10 shelves, so I need to show 10 sticks. So let's go ahead and draw that. There's the first shelf, second shelf, third shelf, and go ahead and draw until you've represented the problem. All right, yours should look like mine. You should have 10 sticks drawn. Now we're going to circle 10s to make 100. Remember, 10 tens is equal to 100. So we need to circle a group of 10. Well, how many did we draw? We drew 10, so it makes it easy for us to circle our one group of 10. Now let's name this in 3 different ways. The first way asks us to name it in tens. How many tens are there? 10 tens. How many groups of 100 are there? 100. Now let's think about each of these as 10 ones. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 100 is another way to write that. Now it's asking us the number of books he puts on the shelf. Are we going to say 10 tens books? Does that make a lot of sense? No, we're going to say he puts 100 books on the shelf, even though that's still equal to 10 tens. Right? 10 tens is equal to 100 ones. So we're just renaming it. All right, we're going to go ahead and complete the check understanding. You're going to use a concrete model to solve, just like we've been doing with our drawings. Amala puts carrots in bags. Each bag has 10 carrots. Amala makes 20 bags. How many carrots did she use? Go ahead and represent the problem and solve. Pause the video if you need more time to solve. So if you're drawing it, you know that she makes 20 bags, and each bag has 10 carrots. So I can use a stick to represent each bag of carrots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's my 20 bags. I know within my 20 bags, I have 2 groups of 10. I know that 10 tens is equal to 100. So 20 tens is equal to 200s, or 200. So how many carrots does she use? 200 carrots.